Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Busy. Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's busy. Happy Tuesday. It is episode 577. Oh my gosh. You guys, I had so many downloads last week, so I want to thank everybody out there that took the time to listen to me. I want to say thank you. It was just amazing when I saw this number pop up because it's been kind of low, and I'm like, is anybody listening? And this week, there were definitely people listening, so I want to thank you. Thank you. I don't like to always go and look at the analytics because it doesn't really matter, because the reality is if I'm helping just one person, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And today's topic is the fact I'm churning 57 on Sunday. Yes, I'm not saying this because I want you to feel sorry for me, because I'm middle-aged, because of it is truly the facts. I was born in 1968. It's going to be 57 years on this planet. Oh my gosh. And by no doing of my own, I have had to sit here, and I've talked about this a lot because I've always been a runner, and I don't mean physically running because I do not do Iron Women or Iron Men. I don't sign up for triathlons. I don't sign up for doing races. I don't sign up for any of that stuff because the reality is I don't like to exercise that much, to be honest. And I do not run unless someone's chasing me. And thank you, God, nobody chases me. But I, from no thought of my own again, I've been sitting since July. Stuff that's beyond my control is going on. And I've been sitting, and I've been having feelings, and I've been reflecting. And I don't know about you, but I don't always like to reflect because it just brings stuff up that I don't really want to deal with, but I've had to deal with it. And it's given me clarity. And one thing that I've realized is that I had all these dreams, and a lot of my dreams have come true, you guys. They really have. I've realized it was like somebody said, I was listening to something or I read something that said to the effect of, don't spend all your time worrying about the past or the future because your dreams are happening around you. And if you don't take time to breathe and notice it, you won't see it. And boy, oh boy, was that person right. Because I don't think if I didn't have this time to reflect, to take kind of an inventory of my life, I wouldn't have the opportunity to realize, oh my gosh, my dreams are coming true and things are happening all the time, all the time. And I've realized also that dreaming is a place that we sometimes forget to get to when we're so busy. We can't dream. And when you are sitting and you're reflecting and you don't let the noise in, you get so many more opportunities to dream. Because let's face it, you're not as busy, even though my name's busy. And realizing that even yesterday, I'm recording this on Monday, so I meant Sunday, I took the entire day, and so did my husband, and we put away our cell phones. And I have to tell you, at first it was like, oh my gosh, I want to turn it on. By the evening, I was like, this feels really uncomfortable. It's 5:30. I haven't even looked at my phone. I haven't played any games on my phone. I haven't been on social media. And I spent the rest of the day. I have to admit, I did talk to 3 people that I have to talk to no matter what. And so they reached out, and I love speaking to them. So I did have to talk to them. I didn't have to, I wanted to. So I spoke to these 3 people, which took about 45 minutes of my day, and that was it. And I turned my phone back off, and it's been off, and it was off all day Sunday. So this morning, when I got out of bed at about 7:30, I went to my phone and was like, whatever. Okay, I have my phone, and nothing's happened that I can't, to handle. Let's face it, I'm not a doctor or a lawyer, and I don't play one on TV. So the fact that I didn't miss anything is kind of nice. So I'm going to try it again on my birthday. Can you imagine on my birthday not getting calls or anything? But I think it's better just to sit and be with my family, because I luckily get to be with one of my children for my birthday. And I'm psyched about that. But my biggest fears, realizing when you're reflecting, especially because I've been sober for a long time, I'm getting closer and closer to God. It's when you're uncomfortable that we get closer to God, I believe. And so it's been uncomfortable. And I have to be like, okay, where am I going to bring God into my life? And, in the Bible, and then Charlie Kirk's passing and all that, has given me this ability to look and see, where is fear in my life? And I think that it's been everywhere. It's been all over my life. It's like sprinkles. Like when you look at a cupcake and you put sprinkles on it, that's been fear in my life. Okay. It's been everywhere. Fear, 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 fear. And if I didn't take this time to identify it, I am again. I mean, I've done it with a 4-step in the 12 steps program, but really doing it like when you're forced to get quiet yourself, and it's not like somebody's like, oh, you have to finish this 4-step. You've got to get it done. No, it's been like, oh, no, Elizabeth, you have to take a reflection of your life. How are you going to change? If you keep going like this, life isn't going to get any better. You've been doing this a certain way for so long. It's time to take a time out. And it's time to take a deep breath, and it's time to get closer to God and recognize where I am putting fear in my life when God says don't. It says it so many times in the Bible. Do not fear. Do not fear. But me, I'm like, I'm fearing everything. I had to look back and go, oh my gosh, why have I had so much fear? Well, I've been abandoned, right? I don't know if it's been by my own choice. My mother would say it was my own choice that I was abandoned. She left me. It was my choice. It was your choice, Elizabeth. That has nothing to do with me. I'm like, okay. So at 15, I made that big choice to separate myself from my family of origin. And I did that. I said, I'm not going with my mom. I want to stay home. I didn't think she'd really do it. I thought, oh, she's just going to stay home anyway, but she didn't. I didn't know as a 15-year-old that she wasn't going to run out the door, which she did. And I had to live through that. And that abandonment, I've realized, has caused me to become somebody that hates myself. I've felt like I'm not lovable, right? So I'll push somebody away. I've pushed away friends. I've pushed away other family. I've pushed away my kids because I have this insatiable need to have somebody say, I love you. You're enough. You're enough, Elizabeth. You're enough, Elizabeth. And I have to realize that about myself, that I'm worth it. And I think when we're so busy in life, making sure everybody else is happy, and then we get to this ripe old age of 57, and we're like, I've been running around for all these people, and now they're all gone. I'm abandoned again because they're going and doing their own lives. And am I okay? It feels really uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. And I'm not going to say because I was a single mom, because I think moms that are married out there too feel like this when their kids fly away and you're like, okay, they just flew away. Bye-bye. And then they forget to call, or they block you on everything and they don't talk to you at all. All of those feelings are abandonment. All of those feelings are a sense of like, oh my gosh, they hate me too. See, I'm a piece of shit. We all go to that inside of ourselves. We go, oh my God, I'm a piece of shit. I deserve to be treated this way. I've been terrible. I'm a terrible person. See, I was left when I was 15. I'm being left now at 57. Well, 56. And it feels gross. And we can wallow in that self-pity. We can wallow in it. It can suck us down like a dirty toilet bowl and just take us down there and go to this place like, I'm not worth it. See, I'm not a good person. I did all this stuff and I don't have any accolades. I don't have a tiara on my head. I don't have a red carpet. Nobody's calling me. People forget about my birthday. People forget about anniversaries. People forget about holidays and calling their parents, and even their own birthdays. They don't respond. And it's like, okay, how are you supposed to feel? And I've felt so long like, oh my gosh. But the reality is, and I read this I'm reading the story of the rosary from Reverend Fulton Sheen, because I've wanted to understand all these parts of the rosary. And in there, he talks about how God gave us children to raise and send off. So, okay, I've done that. I've raised them. I've sent them off. They're not talking to me. They are talking to me. Whatever's going on with them is going on with them. I have to stay okay. I have to stay okay. It isn't an option of whether or not I'm okay, because no one else is going to make me feel okay. I've tried putting this person in, that person in, this person in, that person, all these different relationships, all this different shopping, all this different food, all this different stuff. Self-help. But the reality is that I got to go okay with me, Elizabeth. I have to look in the mirror and see a reflection and go, yep, I've got more lines these days. Oh God, I got a couple more pounds, got a little double chin. What am I going to do? What am I not going to do? And nothing. I'm not going to do anything about it. Guess what? I understand we can all get stuff done, fillers, facelifts, on numerous things we can have done to ourselves. But why don't we just embrace what's looking back at us? Why don't we say, oh my gosh, I have been out. I have been living in this world. I have had many life experiences, many relationships, some good, some bad, but they've all made up the wrinkles, the pounds, the remorse, the sadness, all of those things are from a well-lived life, wouldn't you say? But why did I miss that I've made so many decisions and I was so scared, as I just mentioned. And guess what? I'm still living. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I am still alive. I still have 10 fingers and 10 toes. I still have all those things. And I'm still living and I'm still breathing and none of it killed me. Drinking didn't kill me. I thank God I got sober when I did. I've done other things. Smoked cigarettes. Has that killed me? Not yet. Thank God. I've lived through the deaths of many friends, unfortunately. I've lived through the death of even my mother, as estranged as I was from her. And I lived through it all, as scared as I was, and I never liked me. It isn't until now, at 57 years old almost, in literally like 5 days, I will be 57, and I can tell you this. I'm starting to like myself. I'm starting to really, really like myself. Because for so long, I abandoned me because I wanted to take care of everybody else, right? I want to take care of this person. I want to take care of that person. I would make friends. I'd buy them gifts. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to buy you a gift. I'll take you to dinner. Da, 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 da. All this stuff. What was my real ulterior motive is that I wanted them to love me, tell me I was great. Thank you for buying me dinner. You're so great, Elizabeth. But the reality is I have to know in my heart that I'm okay. I can't be doing things hoping somebody is going to love me enough so that I love myself. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. It works more like, you know what? I've got to take that step and look in the mirror and go, looking good for almost 57 and looking good for having a life that's been well lived. 2 marriages, 3 kids, estrangement, alcoholism, moving 87 times. What else can I tell you? I've done all of these things and I'm still breathing. I'm here to show you that you too can still breathe. We can look at our past, but we can't stare at it, right? We can't stare at it. The past is in the past for a reason. And we have to not look at our past and go, I wish it were, I changed this. All we can do is go, I don't want to make decisions like that moving forward. We can't change the past. It's already gone. No money world's going to bring it back. We don't live in Back to the Future. None of us can go with Michael J. Fox and get into this fancy car, DeLorean, I think it was, and pretend like we're going to go back in the future or Back to the Future, the past, all the rest of it. We can't do any of that. So guess what? We might as well embrace what we've done. None of us are perfect. None of us are infallible. You understand that? Everybody's a sinner. Nobody is better than anybody else walking on this planet. Just so you know. They may have a bigger education. They may be a doctor. They may be a lawyer. They may have more education than you. And they may be a priest. We got to talk about these priests, okay? Because I have realized that I, for so long, put priests up here. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, I'm using my hand like up above like my computer screen kind of. And priests are human beings that felt a calling. Some priests are great. Some priests aren't great. Some priests, you're like, I'm never going back to hear that again. And that has happened to me many times. I've gone to churches and I'm like, nope, not going back to that one. Nope, not going back to that one. And that's on me because that's my judgment, right? It's my judgment. It's like, I didn't like that the Catholic Church did not talk about Charlie Kirk dying. I didn't think that was kosher. I thought, you know what? Maybe we should talk about him in church. Maybe we should have a stance. I understand they want to be like Switzerland, but that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. So I'm on this search. I'm on this search. I don't know when I'm going to find it. If you have any ideas, let me know. But I'm going to maybe even find a Catholic church that I find a priest that's actually going to speak his mind. I see them on YouTube and I see them on Facebook, and people send me these clips, but I haven't found one in my backyard. I need to find a priest that at least can say, you might not have liked that Charlie Kirk questioned anybody, but Jesus did that too, right? Not to compare Charlie Kirk to Jesus, but he questioned people. He gave people the ability and the respect to say whatever they wanted to say. And this is in person, by the way. This isn't on like a chat screen on social media. That's the craziest thing, by the way. I'm going to go on a little tangent right here, but I posted a clip onto TikTok this weekend talking about how kids have walked away from so many families. And I hear from so many people. It's like people anonymously send me letters all the time when I talk about estrangement. They're like, my kid's estranged from me too. And, we hear that it could be from therapists, and we hear that it could be from this, that, and the other thing. But anyway, I post this reel, and so many people have written to me, and it's kind of funny. So I put this post up, and all these people are responding to me. They're like, you don't have to be around the people that aren't nice to you. So what I've taken from this post is that I realize that people have a much easier time speaking their mind when they're on a computer keyboard and on a screen. Okay, makes sense, right? You're hiding in your own house. You might have your pajamas on. You're totally comfy and whatever you're doing, and you get on your phone or you get on your computer screen and you comment at strangers' posts, right? You comment. It's what I feel. Now, if you had the opportunity to go and speak to a person in person, like literally two humans to two humans, would you say the same things? What do you think? Could you go back to your family of origin where you're not happy and speak your mind? I couldn't. I didn't do it, but I didn't have I didn't have the courage. I didn't have the tenacity. I had too much fear. I wouldn't go to my family of origin and keep setting my boundaries and keep setting my boundaries and saying, all right, I'm going to go back, but I'm going to set my boundaries again. If they don't respect them, I will leave. That's on me. That's on me. But I didn't have the courage to do that. So I ran away. I took my ball and went home. And I'm sitting here at 57 going, gosh, if I had done something differently. So I want to teach people that are out there that might be going through the same thing. You don't have to run away. You just have to decide what your boundary is and what your boundary isn't, what you're willing to talk about and what you're willing not to talk about. What is it you're, as an adult child or an adult human, walking into the home where you were raised, maybe not especially that home and that address, but you're walking into this place where your family is, and you want to walk in and you want to be proud of what you're doing, but you've been estranged, or you've not talking to somebody for a little bit of time, or however long time it is, but you want to get back there. How do you do it? My whole thought is that you sit there and you say, this is what I'm willing to handle and this is what I'm not willing to handle. And you know what's so funny is that I was listening at midnight because I couldn't sleep, or maybe it was 1 a.m. I was listening to Mel Robbins' book, Let Them. I only listened to a little bit of it. I'm not going to lie. I did not read the whole book. I only read maybe a chapter. But what I gleaned from that small little bit that I read, it's like all about letting people be who they are. But I think that if who you are, your family might not know because you've been this certain person in your family's eyes for a long time. So either you're the class clown or you're the one that always gets in trouble. That was me, always getting in trouble. Carried that till my mother's death pretty much. Oh, you're bad. You're bad. And the reality is I'm not bad. I'm not bad. Have I made bad choices? Hell yes. I'm an alcoholic. Yes, I've made many bad choices. But I never had the courage to go back and say, I understand, Mom, and now she's in heaven, I hope, but say to my mom, Mom, I understand that you think that I am still this lunatic, crazy woman that goes and makes crazy decisions. But guess what, Mom? Time out, time out, time out. That girl left the building. I've been sober for 19 years. Like, I don't want to be talked to like that anymore. If given the opportunity to do that today, I would. But I was too scared. I was a chicken. Tick, 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 quack, 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 quack. I was a chicken. I didn't want to say it because I was too scared of rejection. And in the end, I rejected myself because I put myself in this corner. Nobody else did. Now, that takes a lot of time and humility, I understand, to get to this place where I am, to own who I am. And it hasn't been easy. Let me tell you, it's been sitting here for almost 3 months, 4 months, going, oh my gosh, and reflecting and writing some more and being quiet and turning off my cell phone and realizing that I've got to look at my part in everything. I understand let them. I think it totally makes sense. But see, I looked at my kids the way my mom looked at me. Still is this all the roles that they had growing up, and they aren't in those roles anymore. They're all adults. They're going to make their own decisions, and I have to let them. If I see that they may crash, that's on them. They're God's. They're not mine. I raised them. I sent them away. They're living their own lives. They're making their own money. They're getting married. They're doing whatever they're doing in their own whole little lives that they have. And I don't mean little to be rude or disparaging. I'm just saying their own lives. And it has nothing to do with me. I did my job. I set them free. They went to school. I clothed them. I did all those things, took them to sporting events. I did all those things I was supposed to do. But now it's time for them to go do them. And it's time for me, the mom, to shut my mouth, let them be who they want to be. And I've got to take care of me. And what does that mean? That's a whole nother bag of wax, isn't it? Because here I am, 57 years old, and I'm doing my podcast and it brings me joy. And I'm working with people and it brings me joy. And I like to get outside all the time. I want to get outside more. I want, this past 3 months, almost 4, has been tough because I've kind of taken myself out of society as a whole. And, for no other reason that, I lost my dog, I got a puppy, all these other things and excuses I can put out there. But the reality is that I needed to take this time to be quiet. I needed this time to reflect. I needed this time that, to realize that I needed quiet time. And it was crazy. And, I realized when I was sitting there doing the dishes the other day, I was standing in my kitchen, I'm doing the dishes, and like I'm feeling the sponge on the plate. Now, how many times have I washed dishes in 57 years? I have no idea. Billions. But this time, I thought to myself, wow, I'm actually in this moment. I'm actually in this moment. My feet are on the ground. I can wiggle my toes. Warm water's on my hands. I have a sponge. I'm getting the little tidbits of food that are on the plate to clean it off and put it into the dishwasher. But I was in the moment. And I spent so many years running and running and running. And for what? It went by like that. Because I was all caught up in the noise. And I'm not anymore. And these days, we pay strangers, we pay coaches, we pay therapists to help us when we really have to help ourselves. We need to focus on what we can control. So my advice to you guys, if you want some, is like take some quiet time for yourself. Dedicate non-negotiable moments for peace. So for me, that's Sundays, no phone Sunday, no phone Sunday. At night, turning off the phone, not going to sit there while we're watching football and play video games. I'm just going to be in the moment and I'm going to breathe. Find one true friend that you can talk to, honestly, that isn't going to judge you, isn't going to want to shut you up, is going to listen to you. And no more masks. Be your authentic self. You don't have to wait to the almost the eve of your 57th birthday to go, I need to keep changing. Embrace who you are. God only made one of you. Don't run on fear, you guys. Our life is proof of our resilience. We survived the worst and we are still here. And we are still dreaming. I am still dreaming. At this age, I'm still dreaming. I still have things that I want to accomplish, But I have to realize I've accomplished a lot of stuff in my life. Some of it's bad, some of it's good. I've like gone through it all, but it all makes up who I am at the end of the day. I'm in the back nine. I got to embrace it. I got to smile. I got to make these wrinkles even deeper. More laughing, more crying. None of it'll kill me. For so long, I thought it would. Wish me a happy Sunday, birthday on Sunday, but you can't do it by phone, or I'm not going to respond to it. I will on Monday morning, but I have a very early flight coming back to Florida. And I just want to thank you for being here for episode 577. And remember, it's busy. And I love you guys. And I'm sending you guys big hugs. And I want to thank you so much to each and every one of you that's listening to this podcast. I want you to know you are not alone. No matter what you're feeling, you are not alone. God is there. The Blessed Mother is there. She is with you. You are not alone. That is a lie. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe, share it with your friends. And I'm signing off. Well, no, I will have one more podcast going up on Thursday with the guest. Will not be me solo. And that will be my last episode of my 56 years on this planet. We're moving on to 57, you guys. And I'm embracing it. No crying in the soup for me. We're embracing it. No more fear. This is who I am. Loving life. Hasn't been always easy. But guess what? We're still dancing. Take care, everybody. Until next time, be well. Bye. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast, or if you're watching me on YouTube, press subscribe.